from legendary assassin to humble convenience store owner. But that's not all. Welcome to Sakamoto's world. Here's everything you need to know about Sakamoto Days Season 1. The season starts with a flashback to Sakamoto in his prime, a lean, mean fighting machine, effortlessly taking down hordes of enemies. Then there's a cut to the present, where he's a portly, middle-aged man running a convenience store with his wife, Aoi, and daughter, Hana. His quiet life is disrupted when Shin Asakura, a young, clairvoyant hitman who idolized Sakamoto, arrives at his store. Shin has been ordered by a former gang boss to either convince Sakamoto to return to the underworld or kill him. Sakamoto refuses to go back to his old ways, leading to a comedic yet action-packed confrontation where Sakamoto demonstrates his incredible combat skills, albeit without killing. Shin goes back to the gang boss and refuses to kill Sakamoto after seeing how peaceful Sakamoto's life is. He gets into a fight with the gang, and Sakamoto goes to save Shin. Shin decides to stay and work at the convenience store, becoming his unofficial assistant. Sakamoto and Shin encounter Lu Xiaotong, the spirited daughter of a Chinese mafia boss, when they're in Nikita Chinatown for diving pork buns. She's on the run from Wang, the chairman of Danshokai. Wang sends twin assassins, Sun He and Beicho, after her. Sakamoto, with Shin's help, protects Lu, showcasing his ability to disarm and subdue opponents without lethal force. Lu, impressed and seeking refuge, also ends up becoming an employee at Sakamoto's convenience store, forming a quirky trio with Sakamoto and Shin. A former colleague and friend of Sakamoto's, a man named Yoichi Nagumo, arrives with news of a massive 1 billion yen bounty placed on Sakamoto's head, while also showcasing his abilities. Sakamoto takes Aoi and Hana to a theme park called Sugar Park. However, the park becomes a battleground as various assassins, attracted by the bounty, launch attacks. Sakamoto has to fend them off while trying to ensure his family enjoys their day, leading to hilarious situations where he uses theme park attractions and props as weapons. The battle at Sugar Park continues. Shin encounters a poison-wielding assassin named Tatsu. He fights him on a roller coaster but gets poisoned during the battle. The fight ends with a one-on-one showdown on a stage where Shin, dressed in a sugar costume, defeats Tatsu with Sakamoto's help. After dealing with the poison-wielding assassin, Sakamoto and his family are ambushed by the ultimate assassin duo from Dandenkai Limited. One of them is a large, imposing individual known as Boiled. The action intensifies as Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu must work together to counter these more formidable threats while maintaining the facade of a normal family outing. They get separated, with Lu fighting Obiguro while drunk and Shin getting captured. Sakamoto engages in a fierce one-on-one duel with Boiled. The battle is intense and destructive, pushing Sakamoto to his physical and mental limits. During the fight, Sakamoto temporarily sheds his overweight appearance, revealing his lean, muscular form as his killer instinct kicks in. Despite the overwhelming threat Boiled poses, Sakamoto remains committed to his no-kill rule, relying on his creativity, precision, and environment to gain the upper hand. While Sakamoto fights to protect his family and friends, Shin and Lu must contend with their own battles. Boiled is finally subdued, and the immediate threat from Dandenkai is neutralized for now. Aoi finds out about the bounty on Sakamoto's head after the fights with Boiled and Obiguro end. Following the events at Sugar Park, Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu set out to uncover the truth behind the bounty and the escalating attacks. Their journey leads them to confront the Dandenkai organization directly. Meanwhile, a powerful group known as Order, an elite organization of top-ranked assassins, enters the scene, assigned to investigate a disturbing series of assassinations targeting other killers. As the Order members are introduced, the story hints at a much larger conspiracy brewing in the shadows, one that may force Sakamoto to face his past more directly than ever before. Heisuke Mashimo is a broke sniper desperate for cash and fame. When he hears about the huge bounty on Sakamoto, he sets out to hunt him down. But Heisuke doesn't know what Sakamoto looks like now, so he ends up in a paintball game for money, but Sakamoto and Shin were there too. What follows is hilarious paintball battle where Heisuke goes all in with his sniper skills. As the game goes on, Heisuke figures out who Sakamoto really is, so he starts attacking them. After the fight between them, Heisuke gets defeated. Though broke and a bit reckless, Heisuke's sharpshooting ends up being pretty useful. Plus, he brings a lot of chaotic energy to the group. A mysterious group from the lab kidnaps Lu, mistaking her for Shin because Lu was wearing Shin's apron. When Shin returns and sees that Lu is missing, he realizes something's wrong. Around the same time, Sakamoto comes back from Hana's school parents' day, and together they set out to rescue her. They track down the van used in the kidnapping and engage the attackers. During the fight, a new character appears, Seba, who uses a special suit that makes him invisible. Shin and Sakamoto take on Seba in an intense battle, but during the chaos, the van manages to escape. Shin knows where they're headed, an old facility he remembers from his childhood. Meanwhile, the story introduces Kashima, the mysterious man with a deer-like mask. Shin and Sakamoto go to a museum, under which the laboratory is hidden. On their way to the lab, they encounter a robotic dinosaur guarding the entrance, which leads them to the lab workers. The lab workers reveal that a rogue assassin group has taken control of the facility, turning it into their stronghold. Sakamoto and Shin now face a new mission, not only to save Lu, but also to uncover what's really going on behind the scenes at the lab. The battle at the lab escalates. Sakamoto and Shin face off against a mad scientist and his twisted creation, which can control others' bodies or manipulate their own. The stakes are high as they fight not only to rescue Lu, but also to free the lab workers. Meanwhile, Shin must fight to regain control of his own body after being affected by the scientist's experiments. This highlights their strong teamwork and Sakamoto's cleverness in overcoming overwhelming odds, without breaking his promise to Aoi not to kill. Meanwhile, Lu, now held in a prison cell, meets the head of the lab, Asakusa, who once raised Shin. Asakusa reveals how Shin grew up, how he gained his clairvoyant ability, and why he ultimately left the lab behind. After they defeat the mad scientist, the battle within the lab reaches its climax. Meanwhile, members of the Order, Shishiba and Osaragi, arrive at the museum. Sakamoto and Shin are unexpectedly separated, each going their own way. At the same time, Lu and Asakusa manage to escape from the prison. Sakamoto crosses paths with Shishiba, Osaragi, and the leader of the assassin group that took over the lab. Shishiba leaves the fight against Kashima to Sakamoto. Kashima, a mutant who cannot die, works for Slur. As their battle begins, Kashima presses a button to trigger the lab's self-destruction, starting a countdown timer. A fierce battle follows. Sakamoto pushes himself to the limit, showcasing his immense strength and resourcefulness without breaking his no-kill vow. Meanwhile, Shin encounters Seba and gets badly beaten, until Heisuke arrives just in time. Together, Shin and Heisuke team up, using their combined abilities to counter Seba's invisibility and defeat him. After their victory, Lu and Asakusa reunite with Shin in the lab. Shin and Asakusa head deeper into the facility to rescue the remaining people before the explosion. On the way, they briefly encounter a bloodthirsty man who mysteriously vanishes. In the end, everyone manages to escape safely, while Sakamoto defeats Kashima in an intense final showdown. After the intense battle at the lab, the Sakamoto family takes a breather, returning to some slice-of-life comedy elements by visiting a bathhouse. However, given the nature of the series, even a simple trip to a bathhouse quickly turns into a chaotic brawl with assassins. This part feels more like a lighthearted filler episode. At the end of the season, Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu are enjoying a meal at a restaurant when a mafia group suddenly attacks them. However, the situation quickly takes a surprising turn. Leading the ambush is Wutong, a high-ranking member of the Chinese triad. Although not physically strong, Wutong is highly intelligent. As a child, he was often bullied for his weakness, which led him to sharpen his mind instead of his fists. Wutong reveals he's come to take Lu back to China and return her to the triad. But Lu refuses. She doesn't want to go back. Wutong then proposes a deal. They'll settle it with a competition. If Lu's team wins, she can stay and he gives information about Slur. And if Wutong wins, Lu returns to China. Sakamoto and Shin seem interested at first, but ultimately reject the offer. However, Lu accepts the challenge for Sakamoto's sake. The challenge takes place at a casino with a simple rule. Whoever earns more chips by the end, wins. Shin joins a poker game, despite not knowing the rules, but his mind-reading ability gives him an edge. Meanwhile, Sakamoto heads to the roulette table where the dealers try to cheat in Wutong's favor. Naturally, Sakamoto shuts that down with his insane speed. By the end of the casino games, both teams have exactly 87,630 chips. To break it, Wutong proposes one last game, Old Maid. During the tense match, Shin tries to read Wutong's mind but quickly realizes it's no use. Wutong's thoughts are so chaotic and layered, they cause Shin's clairvoyance to short out. It all comes down to the final round between Sakamoto and Wutong. Just then, the triad members turn on Wutong. no longer seeing him as a worthy leader and attempt to kill everyone. Sakamoto takes on the entire room, protecting Lu, Shin, and even Wutong, while Wutong uses his bluffing skills to manipulate the chaos. After the dust settles, Wutong admits he knew nothing about Slur, but reveals disturbing intel. There are 4 assassins on death row who can be connected to Slur: Dump, Saw, Apart, and Minimalist, who've been released with one mission: to kill Sakamoto, Shin, Nagumo, and Osaragi. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the ride. If you want more recaps like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what anime you want to see next.